So because of the accidental patch that Dead by Daylight had on Epic, we received some more information, and those include some changes to the Skull Merchant. Kings and Queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In case you guys didn't know, yesterday, for whatever reason, the newest version of Dead by Daylight was released on accident to Epic Games Store. This was 6.6.0, and data miners were very quick to jump on the patch and get everything. In case you missed all of the other information, we have dedicated videos talking about everything that was released. To quickly recap, we're going to be getting a ton of new skins for the new characters, obviously. We're also going to be getting a Alice in Wonderland collaboration, which is kind of crazy, and a Meet Your Maker event, which is Behaviour's second game that they've been creating and has just launched. So all of that is going to be coming out. If you want more information, take a look at our last video. All right, let's talk about the Skull Merchant. You guys know from our previous videos as well that we had a lot of grievances with the Skull Merchant. Well, it seems that she's going to be getting some changes. All of this was data mined, so shout out to Myers, and we're going to do our best to analyze all this information and tell you what it all means. With that being said, let's jump on into it. All right, so here's the first change. The power cooldown has been increased to 10 seconds. This has been 12.5. Honestly, I thought that the power cooldown would just not have a cooldown whatsoever, or if it was, it'd be way shorter. This is one of the things that we said would just make it quite easy to use. I'm not too sure why they decided to just make it 10 and not 12.5, but hey, that's the change that they were aiming on making, so we'll see how it goes. Personally, I think 10 would still be quite a long time. If it was something like 5 seconds, I think it'd be a lot better, but let's continue. Time for a drone to become active after spawning has decreased to 2 seconds. This used to be 4. This one's not too bad. I think it could go to 2 seconds, but overall, I think this is pretty okay. We'll have to wait to see exactly how this works in game, but this is another thing that I was pretty worried about, just how long it takes for the drone to be active. If you're running up to a generator and people are there, it'd be nice just to toss a drone down quickly and they have a little bit less time to react. 3 seconds, we'll see how it goes. I thought cutting in half would be fine, but we'll continue to see. The lock-on expose duration has been increased to 60 seconds. This used to be 30 seconds. Now, I think this is a good one. The lock-on duration was definitely a lot shorter than needed, and with Dead by Daylight even admitting in the past that chases are meant to and they're balanced around lasting 45 seconds, it just doesn't make sense that the power itself would only expose you for 30 seconds. 60 seconds is a lot more solid, and a lot of people are used to the 60-second timer with Haunted Grounds or Devour. Well, not Devour, but Haunted Grounds is one of those. Dragon's Grip, Starstruck, Make Your Choice. All of those are standard 60 seconds, so it just makes sense that this would also be 60 seconds as well. And that way we can actually capitalize on if someone is locked down and exposed to getting them, as it's such a difficult thing to do as is, so it makes a lot of sense to me. The next change that we have on the list is that the lock-on decay delay has been increased to 10 seconds. This used to be 5 seconds in total. This is actually another solid one. Let's say someone's in chase with you, you decide to toss a drone down, or if they're working on a jet, they spend a little bit too much time in there. Now, as soon as they run out, you can quickly go to wherever they're looping you or wherever they're taking you, toss a drone out. Because this only takes 3 seconds now instead of 4, it'll be a little bit faster, and because the lock-on is a little bit faster, this actually works in your favor. So the decay wouldn't drop their percentage down, similar to how the Trickster throws blades at you and that delay goes down. You might have a good chance of getting them exposed and then knocking them down into 60 seconds. So that's pretty cool. Next on the list is that the lock-on no longer depletes while in active drone range. This is great. You know, I don't know why this wasn't there initially. It doesn't make sense to me, but having the lock-on not delay or decay, while you're in an active drone just makes complete sense to me. So, hey, that works out quite well. Next on the list is that the lock-on is activated immediately if the survivor fails to hack a drone. This is perfect. I mean, if you are messing up a skill check, essentially, this should just be it as is. Before, if they messed it up, they still had a little bit time to run out before getting fully, locked down, etc. But lock-on activated immediately if the survivor misses the skill check or fails it is absolutely perfect. Undetectable delay has been decreased to 2 seconds. This was 3, another pretty good change. I said that the delay definitely needed to be decreased because just standing in there and taking so long to get the undetectable status just made little to no sense. I even said it would have been good if it was instant. That might have been a little bit too much, but 2 seconds, I think that is pretty solid. Next, we have that the claw trap battery life has been increased to 45 seconds. This used to be 25 seconds. This one's pretty okay too. A lot of people do end up disabling the drones itself, so having a claw trap is pretty solid. 45 seconds is good too because you're always getting useful information. 25 seconds just seemed way too short, and you had no use out of it if someone was in your active drone range and they're just, you know, chilling on with their claw battery. 25 seconds was absolutely nothing. Now with 45 seconds, you definitely can get that information, even if it's on the tail end, to know the general location of a survivor. So I think that's pretty solid as well. And finally, the last thing that we're able to see is that the unhackable drone duration has been increased to 10 seconds. This used to be 5. Essentially, this means that when you toss a drone out and it starts to scan, there's a point where a survivor could just run in and grab the drone and start hacking it. This is good. Now, instead of that being 5 seconds where they're not able to do it, it's now 10 seconds. So during this 10-second time, they're not able to do any of that, which is pretty solid. Next on the list is that the time for a drone in active mode to switch to reconsciousness mode has been decreased to 20 seconds. This used to be 25 seconds. This one's all right, just helping out the timer a little bit more. And finally, we have the movement speed modifier when inspecting the radar has been increased to 95%. This used to be 87%. I personally think that overall, these are all pretty good and solid changes. We're going to have to see exactly what this is like in the game itself. I actually had a video planned talking about the suggested changes that I would make to her, because the video that we made basically saying that this chapter is the worst, which thank you guys for the great feedback on everything. I didn't really give too much suggestions on how we could potentially make her a lot better. Pretty much everything that's on this list is something that I would say it's not as extreme as I would have made it, but obviously they're just trying to be a little bit more passive with everything and not make it too strong, because they did something similar to Freddy where people were saying he was too strong, they ended up making him too weak, and we've seen how long it took to fix Freddy. So I'm assuming this is kind of the same treatment. Nonetheless, I think these are all pretty solid and good changes. The most important things are definitely the exposed duration, in my opinion, as that can help you a lot more in the chase it itself. I feel like the information is good, the information is key, but if your power actively helps you while you're in chase as well, that would be pretty solid. And if it can activate a lot quicker, expose a lot quicker, things like that, the drones will actively be able to be used while in chase, and that way you have a whole different aspect to the power that we didn't necessarily have before. I also mentioned that in my previous videos, we're probably going to be doing 2 hours full of gameplay for you guys. I still have that video planned, and you can see pretty much all different methods of me trying out tons of different combinations, tons of different styles, things like that, to actively show you what the gameplay is like, and you guys can make your own decisions about it. But there you go, guys. That's pretty much all of the leaked information that we received, everything that we received. There might be some more information that comes out in the future, but for now, that is all of the juicy stuff that we did get. Skull Merchant's going to be getting some buffs. We'll see exactly what that's like once 6.6.0 is out, probably in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, this doesn't make her the least big killer in the game. We can actually have some good and decent gameplay from her. That's pretty much going to do it for me, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe for some more awesome Dead by Daylight content. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.